What's going on, everyone? So I want to dive into Austin Reaves a little bit, kind of start going through the various players on this roster. And I think Austin Reaves is a good place to start because there has been a lot of talk. There has been a lot of hype, right? JJ Redick has talked heavily about Austin Reaves. Keep getting these reports that Austin Reaves is going to take this next step. He's going to take this next level. And look, I was somebody last offseason that hyped up Austin Reaves like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan, right? I thought he was going to be fantastic. I said that I wouldn't be shocked if he was a 25-5 guy. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, not 25-5. Every time I say 25-5, I get a comment or two that are like, there's no way he's 25-5, right? But he fell short of that. He was 16-4-6, right? So not too far off, but he also wasn't as aggressive. He didn't shoot as well, and he was incredibly inconsistent. I really do still believe that he is capable, even as the fourth option on the Lakers, if D'Lo continues to play the way he's playing, for Austin Reaves to be a 20-point-a-game scorer, right? If he's aggressive, if he's looking for his shot. Darvin Ham didn't really do Austin Reaves any favors, but Austin Reaves also didn't do himself any favors. I know if you look at you just look at the stat line, right? Because again, see comments, see people talking about this all the time. People argue like, oh, no, Austin Reaves was actually really good. He wasn't. If you watch the games, if you look at the previous season, and if you look at the stat line when Austin Reaves had his emergence, right? Don't look at the full season. Because remember, he was hardly playing early in the season, right? You got to look at that basically when LeBron got hurt, the last, I think it was 30 games or whatever. That's 30 games of the season. The numbers are not even close. Austin Reaves, even when LeBron came back, because there was questions would Austin Reaves be able to keep this up, right? And then you got D'Angelo Russell, and you got all these guys. He still was. Even with D'Lo averaging 17 with the Lakers, he still was able to go and average, I think he was averaging 18 and a half during that stretch, right? And then even in the playoffs, he was giving you 21 a night, right? He was a guy that was incredibly aggressive though, right? And it's also part of the reason why I've even made the argument to bring him off the bench. His numbers are exactly the same on better efficiency off the bench. Why? Because he gets to be himself, right? He gets to just have the green light and be aggressive and get to the basket and be crafty and get into the teeth of the defense and rise up and do all the things that we saw Austin Reaves do the year prior. Generate, draw contact, right? And a couple of concerns I had last offseason that I had talked about, and I said that I thought he could be a 25-5 guy, but I do have some concerns. One was the adjustment he would have to make as now teams understand what he wants to do and will, make the defense adjust accordingly, especially if he's cooking, right? Two was that Austin Reaves was very reliant on the whistle, right? He would create this contact, Harden-esque, right, was a big thing. And would he be able to adjust to that? I thought he would be able to adjust to it. And there was times where he was. There were times where he still got the whistle. But he also, again, wasn't as aggressive, right? I even talk about the playoffs and how he didn't really show up till game 4. And again, people look at the stat line. I'm not talking about just seeing stats. I'm talking about actually watching the games. Go look at the tape. Austin Reaves didn't start playing like Austin Reaves till really about game 4. You could argue, half of game 3. But really game 4, he started being aggressive again. He started, looking for his shot. He started to be the Austin Reaves we needed him to be 4 games earlier, 3 games earlier, right? We need an aggressive Austin Reaves. My hope is that with JJ Redick now, JJ Redick knowing the potential of Austin Reaves, that what he talks about kind of unlocking Austin Reaves will be through just kind of letting him go and telling him to be aggressive, telling him to find his shot, right? He's also got to make shots. Austin Reaves, to start the season, the first 20 games of the season, shot 28% from 3. Then he had a stretch where he was shooting well. Still wasn't playing great, but he was shooting better. He was having 3 out of 4 nights and stuff like that. And then it got bad again. And then he just became this he'd have these little blocks, right? He'd have 5 games where he was just Austin Reaves again, being aggressive, getting to the basket, taking deep threes and hitting them like they're nothing, right? Doing the things that we wanted to see Austin Reaves do. And then he would just go on like a 5-game stretch where he was terrible, and he ultimately finished, I think it was just shy of like 37%, something like that, right? that doesn't help the style in which Austin Reaves plays best, right? Because what happens is, and again, you can see it happen in these games, when his shot isn't falling, teams just back up, right? Teams just, because they know he wants to do the little pump fake. He wants to kind of do the little behind the back thing, get into the teeth of the defense, right? So how do I prevent that? I let him shoot, and then if he gets hot, I can make the adjustment, right? But if he can shoot and get back to being that 39-40% three-point shooter, which I do believe he can be, and I do believe he is, then now again, everything starts opening up, not just for him, but for everyone else, right? Now he can be more of a playmaker. Now he can do more things. I don't really trust him or like him as the primary playmaker, but I do think he can be that kind of secondary, right? You have D'Lo with the ball in his hands and he's willing and dealing. Austin Reaves can do the basics. He doesn't handle ball pressure well, right? And he kind of gets tunnel vision. He's more two guard than he is a point, which is why it makes sense for him at the two guard, right? Which is fine. It's what he's best at as far as his game goes. And to me, I don't mind Austin Reaves making some plays, right? If it's within the scheme of things, and he can run the basic, he can run the pick and roll. One of the best actions in all of basketball was the pick and roll with Austin Reaves, right? He can run the basics, he can find the open man, he can find the cutter and feed the cutter, right? Like he can do the basics, but actually developing things and having him have to try to run an offense, he's just not there yet. Can he get there eventually? Maybe. But as of right now, he's not. But that's fine. We don't necessarily need him to be that, right? Assuming all is right, all is healthy, right? With Gabe Vincent. And then even if there is some concern with Gabe, I'd rather let see what Jalen Trifino could do. And then if all else fails, then go with Austin Reaves, right? I'd rather go with LeBron, to be honest. But nonetheless, Austin Reaves, if he can kind of just focus on what he does best, shoot the three ball with consistency to where teams now have to worry. Teams now have to go out and contest. Teams now have to guard him tight, which allows him to get by the defender. Because he's not this super quick, first step, just he's gone type player. He has to be crafty. He's not this incredible, insane athlete. He uses his shot to suck in the defense, which then allows him to kind of, finagle his way to his spots where he can kind of elevate and get over the top, right? It all starts with that. And then defensive, right? Austin Reaves was a cone, literally. I mean, I think a cone is too nice. He was basically an open door, just inviting people to come in. Defensively, he just wasn't there. He was awful, right? But in the playoffs, he was actually good. He's not elite, he's not great, and no one's expecting him to be. I don't expect him to be this all defensive. I don't expect him to be Alex Caruso, all defensive team, or KCP or anything like that. But I do expect him to at least try. I expect him to at least be serviceable, at least be good enough not to get blown by every possession. Yeah, it's great you're averaging 16 points, but when you're giving up 20, we're losing. Right? So again, if he can be more consistent on the offensive side and just be serviceable defensively, right? I don't care if he averages the exact same stat line on better efficiency, right? Even if he gave us 16, 17 a game on just better, he was shooting 40% from three and all that stuff. That's perfect. That's fine. Especially as your fourth option. And then on some nights it'll be a third option. And there will be nights, he'll have off nights. Everyone does. I don't care about, the occasional off night. But when it's regular, how many times last year were we talking about is this finally Austin Reaves coming back? And it was nope, he's right back being a bum, right? He was unplayable at times, literally. And he's supposed to be one of our best players. And I still think it's in him. I still like Austin Reaves. I still think Austin Reaves can be an excellent player this season for the Lakers. And I do think that, in a lot of ways, a lot hinges on him. I don't think he's the complete make or break season, but I think he can do a lot of good, right? I think he can win us a couple games, right? Because again, when he's cooking and he's doing his thing, it just opens up so much more for everyone else. LeBron trusts him, right? LeBron confides in him at times. Let him be him, right? Tell Austin Reaves to be aggressive. Tell him to be the shooting guard. right? And if you can't figure it out in the starting unit because you have Rui and you have D'Lo and you have Anthony Davis and you have all these things, then again, bring him off the bench to where he just has the green light. Dude, we need you to give us 20 a night off the bench, right? Like, I believe he can do that. But you got to find spots for him. You got to put him in positions to have success. Darvin Ham didn't do a good job of putting Austin Reaves in spots, right? Played him out of position at times, utilized him heavily as like the sole playmaker in the second unit. But here was the problem. One, he's not a playmaker. Again, I've talked about this a million times. There is a difference between a guy that can make plays. There's a 100 guys, if not more, that can make plays. You see so many guys that have 20 points, 5 assists, but they're not known as playmakers. They just can make a play. Difference between making a play and actual playmaker. Like D'Lo can be a playmaker. D'Lo, he sees things and he's creating things and he's putting guys in spots and he's running an offense. Austin Reaves, we saw last year running second units and it was awful. Like Lakers were terrible. I mean, getting blown out, having like double-digit leads, and within 3 minutes span, it's gone, right? Like how, Sway? Because Austin Reaves isn't capable of that. So again, don't put him as your primary playmaker. And then also now he has the pressure and feels like he has to make plays rather than just being the bucket getter. And if you would have just let Austin Reaves be Austin Reaves, right? Rather than making him feel like I gotta make plays on occasion, but you're running him with a terrible unit and he can't shoot this season. And it's a recipe for disaster, right? And Darvin Ham just kept doing it, right? Like it was crazy. Even when we got like Skylar Mays and stuff like that, it was just like, and especially when we got Spencer Dinwiddie. When we got Spencer Dinwiddie, it was like, what are we doing? Right? Like, you have your answer, and yet Darvin Ham just continued to run Austin Reaves as the guy. It made zero sense. I believe and hope JJ Redick doesn't do that, because I do believe Austin Reaves can really, I think he can be huge for the Lakers this year. I do. If he can get back to being more like that emergence Austin Reaves, rather than last year Austin Reaves, look, everyone said it was because he had tired legs. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I will. I mean, he had a deep playoff run, right? He went from basically playing, spot minutes to playing the most minutes out of anybody on the team, including LeBron and AD, and being a huge piece, and then going on a deep playoff run, in which, again, he was a huge piece, into the conference finals, and then immediately jumped into FIBA, and then became a big piece playing the most minutes on Team USA, or one of the most minutes on Team USA, and then immediately jumping into training camp, preseason, regular season, and then he played all 82 games, right? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Fine. But he's got to get back to being that Austin Reaves this year. We need it, right? A lot of this season is going to hinge on the other guys. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to show up. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to be LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It's what do the other guys bring, right? And we need Austin Reaves to be the best version of himself. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, you got to have Austin Reaves, let Austin Reaves be Austin Reaves, and see and allow him to get back to being that consistent player? Do you think that he's going to have an impact this year? Do you think, he's gone? Again, I'm not opposed to trading Austin Reaves. It just has to be for the right piece. But in the meantime, I like Austin Reaves, and I think he can have an impact. But do you feel the same way? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.